What's going on, Pathways Church? I'm Jake Collins, your middle school pastor, and I'm excited to join you this week on Daily Dose. This week, we're looking at some of the most quoted verses in the Bible. You might have even found yourself quoting one of these without even thinking about it. Hopefully, these devotionals will give you a fresh, renewed perspective on these. Memorizing and quoting scriptures are a fantastic practice, but it's important to always think about the context. Growing up, many of us were told something along the lines of this: you can accomplish anything you want if you set your mind to it. Statements like this are meant to inspire kids to dream big. As we grow up, we might get cynical toward this phrase, or at least start to think about it more critically. We might rephrase this to, yeah, you can accomplish anything you want if you're willing to put in the time and the effort. In Philippians 4:13, Paul famously says, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. You might have heard it translated, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a promise of unlimited potential, kind of like those phrases we heard as kids. But jump back a few verses and get the context. Starting in verse 10, we read, I rejoiced greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. These verses were written during one of Paul's stays in prison when it seemed like he shouldn't have any reason to hope. But he finds his peace in the same God that had been there every time until this moment. When we look at this full section, verse 13 becomes less about our potential and more about God's provision. If we wanted to condense this idea to one sentence, it might be, I can face anything that life brings my way if I'm willing to put in the time and the trust. See, victory in Christ is not based on any effort on our part. It's about trusting in who God is and what he has done. That's all for today. We'll wrap up the week tomorrow here on Daily Dose.